Welcome to Eliminating Excuses with SMA. I am your host, Sheila, and I am here to assist you with eliminating excuses and getting out of your own way. Now, have you ever sat and wondered, what exactly are my excuses? What is it that is holding me back? What is keeping me from getting where I need to go? Well, I'm going to assist you today in figuring that out. So what I want you to do is make sure you go grab something to drink, whatever you need to do to relax yourself, and come right back here and have a seat with me, because we're going to dive right in and give you what you need.
Welcome to the sweet job. Welcome to the Vitamin M Suite with Carrie. Yeah, she give all the support to black entrepreneurs. Yeah, the Vitamin M, we inviting them in to what she created, much appreciated, and it can't be recreated. Black people got the keys to the locks now. We gon' make it. Get a taste of culture, embrace the face that's taking over, replacing Oprah. It's all black everything, everything. Get up, stand up, fight for your rights, but be a heavyweight. Yeah, and they gon' hate, but you let them hate. Long as they don't cross them lines like the letter H. You just stay on your grind until you elevate. Then set a date with Carrie so she can tell it straight. Cause if it ain't real, they can tell it's fake. But this is black excellence, let's celebrate.
I am so excited you decided to stay along with me and learn how to get out of your own way. So, one of the questions that I hear often as a coach is, why not me? I've sat and I've looked at people like Oprah Winfrey or Steve Harvey and wondered, I could tell jokes, right? I can sit and have a conversation with people and get people enlightened. I help so many people at home and friends and people at work. Surely I can be one that can help someone else to get along in their journey. Well, the idea behind this first is to address the concerns. We want to make sure we address the top 3 concerns, actually, that someone has told me. The first one is their environment. Do you know that the environment that you live in cannot or should not dictate where you find yourself in the rest of your life? Now, I know you're looking at me sitting here on this screen and you're wondering, how is it that this young lady is able to sit here and speak to all of us, and she's from the west side of Chicago? Now, Chicago, it has a bad reputation. I understand that. However, opportunity always knocks if you're looking for the opportunities to manifest. So one of the things we want you to do is to step outside of your environment. Even if you can't physically get out of your environment, step out in your mind. What are you doing to creatively put yourself in a position to where you can get the things that you have set in your mind to get? Have you done any research? Do you know exactly what it would even take to get out and get into the places that you're trying to go to? If you don't, shame on you. Now, I want you to take this time to make sure you go and explore. Have you ever explored just your local city? I live in Chicago, and I was ashamed about a year ago to make sure I said I had never been to downtown Chicago. Tourists have seen more of my city than I had seen. And you know that I got a little ashamed about that. But one of the things I understood was that if I ever wanted to experience anything different, I had to step out of my comfort zone. So do not let your environment be what dictates to you where you need to go. The other thing that we talk about is stereotypes. Now, it's not just stereotypes as it relates to skin color. Let's talk about being a single mother of 5 daughters, because that's me. Stereotypes, people are always judging and making sure that they put a verdict on what it is that you can do and what you cannot do. You should not ever let someone else's opinion of you dictate where you end up in life. Stereotypes will always be there. Make an adjustment. It is perfectly fine. Now, if you're concerned about what other people might think, they may not be your target audience. Have you ever considered that? Maybe, just maybe, you are not talking to the right people. If they're concerned about whatever stereotype or stigma they have placed on you, they are not your target audience. So make the adjustment and make sure that you move past those different obstacles right there. Now, the final one that we'll discuss is the socioeconomic status. Now, in layman's terms, we'll just consider it your money, right? I don't have any money, or I don't have enough money to do what I need to do. Now, that's the biggest excuse that I have heard. I cannot tell you over and over again. People are always talking about not having enough money. But the real question is, let's first balance this out. Do you not have enough money, or are you not placing the money in the proper places? Now, I know you can't resist that extra value meal, supersized. I know. We understand. You have to get your nails done. You have to have your hair done. It's always important. But what you also have to understand is that in order to eliminate excuses and get out of your own way, you have to prioritize and make sure that you are allocating the money where it needs to go. Money should not be an excuse, and it cannot be an excuse for where you need to be in life in 2020. We are in 2020. There are so many different opportunities to create streams of wealth. You cannot sit at home, especially if you have a vehicle. There are ride sharing opportunities. There are jewelry, independent distributor opportunities. Let's not forget the famous makeup opportunities, right? So we have all of these different opportunities that you can invest in, that you can go into in order to accomplish the things that you are trying to accomplish. So what I need you to understand going forward is that the three things that we discuss, your environment, any stereotype, or your money should never be an obstacle to you achieving what it is you need to achieve. So let us address time. Now, when we're talking about eliminating excuses and getting out of your own way, the biggest thing people talk about is time. I don't have time. Where is the time? Who's giving out any more time? Can I have more? I mean, people only have, 24 hours in a day? And it seems like a lot of people get a lot more done in 24 hours in a day than most of us do in 12 hours in a day. You know what happens? What they're doing is they are being wise about where they put their time. So this next section, we're going to talk about what you need to do in order to make sure that you invest your time, you manage your time, and you create the time that you need in order to get what you need done. So let's first talk about creating time. Have you ever sat down and had a conversation with yourself? Like, what exactly does my day look like? Have I sat down and planned out the things that I have in a day? Do I know exactly where I'm putting each one of my opportunities? Am I being wise about what I'm doing? What you need to do is to create time. Those of us who have children, we have jobs, multiple jobs, inconvenient times where we work. We have to create the opportunities that we want. And time is the biggest thing that we need to make sure that we properly manage in order to be successful in life. So, in creating the time, sometimes you might have to stop doing something, right? Have you sat around and you spend one day, every day, you're watching TV for about 3 hours? Maybe you should cut it down to about an hour and a half, right? So now you've created an hour and a half in your day that you didn't have before, or you thought you didn't have before. Now you actually have that time, and you can put it toward what it is that you're trying to do. Now, have you thought about also the time that you use at work, your lunch hour? Now, I know your lunch hour you want to take away from the mental capacity that goes with actually being with people, interacting with people, dealing with people. I get it. But if you have a goal that you really want to reach, the biggest thing that you could do is to make sure that you create those different opportunities, especially within your lunch hour, to do the things that you want to do. Plan it out, write it out, whatever it is that you need to do. It's very important that you are intentional, and you'll hear that word being used throughout this segment in all of my shows. Being intentional creates an environment that you can better manage. You can be a leader in your time management if you just make the choice to be intentional about creating the opportunity where there needs to be. Now, managing time. Oh God, that is a whole nother ball game. Managing your time properly, it kind of works along with creating the time, right? When you actually set aside that 1.5 hours that we just got because you wasn't watching 3 hours of binge watching Netflix, right? So we have that 1.5 hours. The management of that time is what makes a difference. You've created it. Now, what are you going to do with it? You said you want to write a book, and so you're going to spend that first hour going through your outline. Make sure that you have the ideas and the thoughts and the patterns that you want to have set up, right? So make sure that in the putting of your time on that paper, that you are properly doing what you said that you would do in the management of that time. Now, I know we have a lot of distractions. I told you, 5 daughters. 5 daughters with 5 different personalities, and everyone needs something at every time. But the biggest thing in creating and managing that time is making sure that those around me are aware that this time is dedicated to this thing. So when you're managing your time, make sure that you are intentional about making sure the people around you are also aware that this time is going to be set for this thing. So you got yourself managed. Now you have the people around you managed. Now all you have to do is do something with the time. Make sure that what you're doing is what you want to do. Be intentional about your desires and what it is that you want to do. When you're managing your time, it shouldn't be because of what someone else is requiring of you. This is to reach your goals. You have to reach your goals. Create opportunities for yourself. And in doing so, you'll put yourself in a position to be happy with yourself because you've accomplished just one more thing. So, the last thing I want to talk about is the investment of your time. Where exactly are you putting all of your time? Everything that you do is an investment. Now, we talk about money and investing, right? We talk about where we put our money, investing with a return. But when you do not put your time in creating the education that you need as it relates to your business, have you ever thought about what it takes to start a business, right? Let's say starting a business was your goal. Do you know if you want to be a sole proprietor or an LLC? Have you thought about incorporating? Do you even want to start a business, or is it just something you want to do for a hobby? Are you looking to lose weight? Okay. I know that's a touchy subject, so I won't stay there too long. But when you want to lose weight, you invest in the information that you need for your body type. So often we put so much energy and so much time into what other people said that was going to work because it's what they did. I heard a statement a long time ago. They say, the old people used to say, eat the meat and spit out the bones, right? Make sure that you are making an assessment and you are educating yourself and pursuing your goals based on your goals, your vision, what you are purposed to do. Because if you don't, you'll find yourself in a position where you're constantly cycling, and you're going to end up being in the position where you get discouraged because of it. So going forward, what I want you to do in the investment of your time, be intentional about those you connect with. Be intentional about the things that you choose to do in this season. And be intentional about making sure that you are focused on the things that you say that you're going to be focused on. So, there's still one more part that we want to make sure that we have so that you can move forward in a take-home container and apply these lessons now. So what I want you to do, go refill your drink and come on back, because we have one more thing to share with you before we go.
I'm trying to see what we doing. I want to be like John Lewis. I know that I'm just...
Are you the go-to for your family or business? Where will they go when you go? I'm Melissa West, creator of Fit for Legacy, where I empower leaders to create generational plans for success. Stop being afraid to die. Put a plan in place for your legacy. With your Legacy Life Plan, we move you from what if to what's next. Visit fitforlegacy.com for your plan today.
We got all the juice, got it from my roots, yeah.
I am so excited you are still here because you know what? Now it's time for the best part of this segment, and that is work is required. It's time to bust a move. Like, what are you waiting on right now? Let's go. Let's get it done. We've already addressed the excuses that you've used. We've already given you strategy for creating and managing and investing your time. So now let us go ahead and have a conversation about what it is that you need to do in order to see what you need to see. Okay? So the first thing I want you to do is to find out your why. Why are you trying to reach the goal that you're trying to reach? What exactly is it that you want to do this for? When you do not have a why, you can lose hope. Your why can be your motivation for whatever it is you have to do. Your why will be that thing that pushes you when you're no longer disciplined or determined enough to be able to keep going. Your why, that is your reason. So if you don't have a why, I challenge you right now to get a piece of paper and write down why. Write down your goal, but right next to that, write down why your goal is required for you to reach. That's the first thing, your why. The next thing I want you to be concerned about is the when. Now, have you ever considered this world right now? We have a microwave generation. That's what the old school people call it, right? We need things right now. We got to have it right now. But what makes you think that just because you have the idea right now, that it's supposed to happen right now? So, what I challenge you to do next is to find out when you're supposed to do this thing. Now, if it's a health concern, we're going to do that now, right? If you need to lose weight, if there's some things you're trying to do, the health concern needs to be right now. But if it's a business venture, and you still need to get the collateral, you're looking for the money, you're still not educated enough to do what it is you need to do, who said that it has to be right now? Your idea will be your idea. No one can take what you're supposed to do. And do understand that even though you have an idea that's similar to someone else, no one else can do it like you can do it. We have so many different bread options. We have so many different meat options, right? But if you go to a particular person, they have that special cut of meat that you love. They have that special kind of bread that's just as soft or hard that you like it because they were created to make it just for that market. So what I want you to do is to make sure that you know when it's your time. Doing the right thing at the wrong time will not benefit you. So make sure you are considering your when as well as you're considering your why. So what I also want you to know is that in your when, you need to know who you should be connected to, because your when is directly connected to those you are connected to. I'm connected to an organization called Promote Her. And when we got connected, when I connected to the right women, the opportunities manifested right when they needed to. So you need to know who you need to be connected to so that when it's time to release the goal, when it's time to release the vision, when it's time to actually start, you can do that with the right team. And lastly, we're talking about how. How am I supposed to do it? And can I tell you? I don't know. We're all different. We're all walking our journeys out on our own. I cannot tell you how to do specifically your goal. But what I can tell you is that education is key. Figuring out what it is you want to do, figuring out what it takes to do what you want to do, those are very important strategies. Now listen, you're going to find people all day long that have strategies for you. They're going to tell you how to do it the way that they did it. If it goes for you, do it. But the biggest part is knowing what works for you. How you do it may not be how I do it. And it does not mean that it doesn't work right just because you don't do it the way I did it. So own your process. Own what it is that you have been called to do. Walk in your purpose and know that if you know how you are supposed to do it, no one else will be able to deter you and keep you from moving forward in your goals. So, when you're doing everything that we've discussed, first, acknowledge what it is that you're supposed to do, right? Acknowledge what you're hindering, your roadblocks. Acknowledge all of those different things, because without knowing what they are, you cannot create time in order to fix it. You cannot invest the time in the proper places. You have to make sure that you know what your roadblocks are. And then also, while you're acknowledging that, make sure that you create the right time. Time is precious. We lose time. People lose time all the time. And it is important that you are investing your time in the right places. I am here, albeit virtually. I am here to support you in whatever it is that you have to do. And I want you to know that I guarantee you, if you follow these steps and you are intentional about the things that you choose to do in this life, you will succeed. You'll find yourself step by step accomplishing one goal next after the other. So, with that being said, I invite you to be intentional about the things that you are setting yourself up to do. Intentionality is the biggest part of accomplishing your goals. Focus yourself and do whatever you need to do, and let no one stop you. See you next time.